You're listening to Party 93.4 on, and welcome, we're about to answer here a call from Alex McCord. She is...
Hello, you have a caller. To accept the call, press 1.
Good morning, Alex.
Hi, Melody. How are you?
I'm great. I was just getting ready to introduce you right when you called, so perfect timing.
Oh, good. I'm calling you from 57th Street in Manhattan.
Wow, that's great. Well, I appreciate your taking the time to do it. I know, just for our listening audience, there was a bit of a mix-up because Alex's publicist has changed in the last month, and so she did not know that we were still scheduled to be on the air today. And when I contacted her this morning, she was generous enough to jump in and be here anyway, even though it wasn't on her calendar. So I really appreciate your being here.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm happy to do it. I'm so glad that it worked out that we still could.
Me too.
I got your email this morning and thought, I have to be on the air.
Thanks so much. And this is, this changes everything. And I'm mixologist Melody Brooke. We're broadcasting on Party 93.4 and on WXBO in the New York City area. That's 102.5 FM. So today we're going to be talking with Alex. She is one of the stars of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. And she's going to be... What was that, Alex?
Oh, it's the Housewives of New York City.
Real Housewives of New York City. Excuse me. And
no, that's okay. There is a New Jersey show, but that's not the one I'm on.
Okay, well, great. I knew I was getting confused somewhere, and that makes sense. That makes it all make sense. Okay. Well, I appreciate your being on, and I understand I was reading up on you and your relationship with your husband a little bit, and how... you guys have, it sounds like a very cool relationship.
Oh, thank you. Well, we've been together for 10 years and married for 9, and we consider ourselves very, very, very lucky. Not only that we found each other, but that we've also both been so invested in... Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of some noise coming in from someplace. That wasn't me, but...
Oh, sorry about that. I'm actually going to try and get to a quieter place as we're doing this.
Good.
And let's see, we were talking about relationships. One of the things that is really important to Simon and I is to remember, even once you've been together for years and you have careers, you have children, and you have all sorts of other things going on in your lives, you have to remember that you and your relationship were there first.
That's right. And it's complicated, but it's the way it has to be. And I can appreciate some things I read about you guys that you kept. I noticed that you kept your name.
Oh, yes, I did. That was actually something that I decided to do when I was about 10. Honestly, as soon as I realized what people put their names and that there was an option to keep your name, I knew immediately that that's what I wanted to do. And I did certainly discuss it with Simon before we married, and I was very happy to see that he was 100% behind me in that.
Yes, I think keeping our own identity it's such a difficult thing to do when you lose your name. But, you lose contact with your friends and even family members who don't know where you are because they don't know your new last name, and it can be complicated and difficult.
It can be. My motivation for that was really quite simply that I liked my last name.
That's cool.
And thank you.
I did the same thing when I married 10 years ago. We just celebrated our 10th anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So we're married just about the same length of time. And when I read that you guys had not known each other very long when you got married or decided to get married, that was true of us also. So we have some things in common there.
All right. Okay.
But
I think that, when you know, and when we met each other, we immediately knew. And the funniest thing is that we weren't looking, neither of us were looking for a relationship when we found each other, and we just sort of went with it.
Sometimes that's the best way, when you're not in a place of really longing or seeking out that. So what can you tell me about how you guys have kept your relationship going over 10 years? Because having been married now, this is my third marriage. I know that it's not an easy thing, no matter how you do it. And so how have you guys? What have you found that works? That's been most helpful for you guys in keeping it together?
We have always made sure that we take care of our individual interests and that we continue to do whatever it is that makes us each happy. And also, it's, we spoke a moment earlier about saying we were here first, meaning our relationship, but we as individuals were there even before the relationship existed. And you need to find out what makes your partner happy and try and make sure that they still get a chance to do that or experience that. And it's also one thing that we've always tried to do is surprise each other on occasion, because it's great, and frankly, it's also sexy to see that your partner knows what it is that you like, whether it's an evening out or theater or a nice dinner or just getting the kids away so that they can watch cricket on TV, whatever that is, to think of it and organize it for them without them having to ask is something really special.
It makes them know that they're important to you.
Yes.
And I think that's something that when you've been together for a while, it's very easy to sort of get into a taking each other for granted kind of place and not thinking about, okay, this is what this person needs to have a moment to put them into a place of feeling like they really matter.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And knowing that you have each other's back. And also another thing that Simon and I do is we kind of obsessively communicate with one another. We try to not ever let anything fester, even if it's something ridiculous, such as, I'm annoyed with you because you got impatient when you were trying to call me and I was on the other line.
Right.
And, but little things like that, we try to immediately get it out and dealt with, because in the end, things like that are not a big deal individually, but if you don't speak up about it, then you can really start to get annoyed with the other person. And I've seen that happen with friends in their relationships. So I think it's important to just tell each other, even err on the side of too much information.
Well, I agree, because I think that what happens is you build up this sort of list of resentments and frustrations, and then it affects how you interact with each other, even if it's not major. It's just like a build-up that
right.
gets in the way.
And those things, it's like the dripping faucet. It'll eventually really start to eat into the way you feel about the other person. And also when anything's bothering you, it can change your behavior. And when your children, we have two very young children, age 3 and 5, and, even if we do have a disagreement and they're around, they'll pick up on it immediately. And they might not even say anything necessarily, but they might mirror the kind of tension and stress that they see.
Right.
And so, again, we try to avoid that by just being relentlessly honest with each other, and we've discovered that happy parents make better parents.
Well, it make happier children, because children end up getting anxious when they see their parents having difficulties. They start to feel their world is at risk. The most important thing to a child is that their parents are there and that they're safe, and it's what helps them feel secure. And when their parents are having difficulties, it makes them feel insecure.
Right, exactly.
And insecurity in a child ends up meaning anxiety and acting out behaviors and all kinds of non-fun things.
Right, which should be avoided at all costs.
Yes.